Wow. After reading this chapter, I can see why this series has remained popular for so damn long. Awesome stuff.
Naruto number 49, Coward.
Why in the hell are you singing, boy?
Holy hell in a handbasket. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and tantalizing and just, oh my god, so good tale of Naruto. Our last chapter saw us with this this mysterious figure, this snake man, so to speak, kind of, you know, it really kind of got Sasuke to go and really kind of bitch out, I guess you would say, as he was pretty much just willing to give over their scroll in exchange for them keeping their lives, Sasuke, Naruto, and of course Sakura. Naruto wasn't having that, and ultimately kind of called Sasuke out on his bullshit, and you know, we saw a little bit of that power from within come out of him from the nine-tailed demon fox as he went and just, at the end of it, jumped in front of the snake that was heading straight for Sasuke and was holding it back. Just very, very cool stuff. That's where the chapter left off. This one picks up, and this is cool, man. The plot thickens, and this is the type of shit that I love. It starts out, and it's actually outside of, somewhere outside of that, the death forest that they're in, and we assume that it's some of the other examiners, or some of them that are helping with these Chunin exams. They wind up discovering 3 dead bodies, right? And they're very mysterious and everything else, and they're like, listen, go let Lady Anko know. You know, she's the examiner of the second phase. She has to know. So they go and they get her. She's eating and whatnot, and they interrupt her, and they're like, you gotta come check this out. It's mysterious. You know, there's these 3 dead bodies, and basically they died under these mysterious circumstances. She's like, what are you talking about? So she goes back and looks at them, and all 3 of them, right, they wind up finding their, I guess, their IDs on them or something, their photo IDs. These are the village of the grass people that we saw, that this snake dude is actually impersonating, and somehow or another they stole their faces, because I guess their faces, where their faces should be, they don't show it, are just like smooth. There's no actual features or anything like that, so it's actually like they stole their features, you know? And Anko doesn't let on. Well, she says, I know who did this, but she doesn't say, you know what I mean? She just says, you know, dispatch a couple of black ops squads or what have you. I'm going to go try to find the imposter. So you find out that the whole time, and then she's even putting it together, and she's like, that means that the whole time. So then she's thinking about when this tongue dude was behind her, handing her kunai, and she could feel that bloodlust and everything, and told him to back off and whatnot. So whatever the deal is, these dudes aren't even supposed to be in the exam, right? And I have no idea. And she's like, why would he be here? And I don't know what the deal is. Why would he be here? Who the hell is he? You know, so she knows who this is, right? So this was a bomb-tastic, freaking bombastic chapter, man. Awesome stuff. So then it goes back to right where we left off over there, and of course Naruto's holding back the snake and what have you. And this snake dude or whatever winds up going and whipping out the tongue, picking up Naruto and going and kind of, he's like, hey, let me go, and winds up seeing the 9-tailed demon fox that's imprisoned with him, winds up seeing that it was this 5-pronged spell of earth and fire and water, and you know that wound up getting him in there. And actually winds up, and this, I think this is of note, worth noting, it's been in him for 12 years, right? And instead of laying dormant and what have you, what it's done is it's learned to, instead of fighting as like an enemy to him, and rejecting it, it's almost like in the comic books where you see like a Venom, you know, he's like a symbiote. It's like a living thing that's actually like the symbiosis, and they actually use that word, symbiosis, between the two. They're pretty much working together in unison with one another, and Naruto is obviously at certain times able to kind of heighten his abilities and let some of that come out of him, you know, whether he can control it or not in the future, I don't know, but it's kind of cool to see that somebody else saw it. So this character winds up, and actually he introduces himself or says his name at the end of the chapter, but I'll just say it now so I don't have to refer to him as the snake guy anymore. He says his name is Orochimaru, right? Orochimaru, the snake something. And the thing about him, and the reason he can command all these snakes is obviously that's what his power is based on, something like that. And of course that weird sort of fear, lock you up sort of thing that he does. It's really cool. Anyway, so he grabs Naruto and just goes and kind of flings him away, you know, and is like, you know what, you're powerful, you're interesting, but not to deal with today, and then just kind of flips him away, you know. So then Sasuke goes and comes into the rescue. You know, Sakura's just standing there like the Sakura of shit that she can be a lot of times, and isn't really doing anything. She's just like, Sasuke, Naruto needs you, you know? So she's like that kid on the porch, you know, that never really gets involved in anything, but it's always like, hey, look what he's doing, you know? But, so Sasuke, you know, winds up coming flying in. He goes and grabs his balls and realizes that, you know what? He goes and thinks back, and it looks like he's having some kind of flashback in his head. He's like inner monologuing. They don't actually show a flashback, but obviously to whatever happened with him and his brother, who we also find out his name was Itachi. But his brother, you know, basically went in and said, you know, until you're strong enough to beat me and this and that, just kind of go and hide and be the bitch you are, type of thing, you know. And I keep using that word, I shouldn't, but basically the weakling, you know, that sort of thing. And he's going and thinking in his mind, he's like, yeah, that's right. If I live like that, if I live in fear, and I'm never going to get anywhere. I'm never going to be able to defeat anybody. I'm never going to be able to even pass this exam, you know? And I just thought that everything was done very well with this, because as he is going, and so then he's going to go and he's going to attack this Orochimaru, right? They're going to fight. They're going to go toe-to-toe. And this Orochimaru dude's like, all right, man, that's cool. Throw, you know, throw everything they got at me. You know, let's see all your moves, right? So Sasuke, he's using the Sharingan, right? And he can tell that he's... Orochimaru can tell that he's using that, obviously, and he makes note of it, you know, that he's predicting his moves and able to kind of keep pace with him and everything else, you know. And just, again, the way the whole fight scene is played out is just beautiful. I love the way the action is depicted. But what winds up coming, the culmination of it is ultimately Sasuke he's getting better, obviously, and he has a great power within him. At least that's what we can deduce from what's going on. And Sasuke is like, what the hell's going on? Because this Orochimaru even mentions about, yeah, dude, you're hardcore. You've got moves that only your brother Itachi could only dream of having, right? So obviously he knows of who his brother is, and he even kind of inner monologues to himself about how, you know, he's like this great, he's going to be this great successor, leader, what have you, of the Uchiha clan. So very cool stuff, man. A bunch of different bombs dropped on me, and I'm just trying to dodge the minefield of the explosions here. It's excellent. And so we get all that information from, right? And then Sasuke goes and pulls this move where he goes and he whips out, I think he calls it a three-pronged windmill attack or something like that. Winds up going past Orochimaru, right, as he's gripped and holding Sasuke. And then as it comes back to get him and he goes to dodge out of the way, he had thrown another one, it looks like, and he predicted the retreat path that this Orochimaru was going to have. So he predicted what he was going to do like a second or two before he was going to do it, and what path, what angle he would take to escape, and winds up jacking him up with one of these and hitting him, you know. So for the time being, Orochimaru pretty much, you know, he yields, I guess you would say. Sasuke technically, I guess, beat him, but I think it was really more of a like, you know what, we'll do this again some other time, you know, because the whole time it really seems like he's just sort of playing, letting him play into his hand, you know, and he's just kind of like, hey, let's tangle, let's see what kind of moves you got, you know, let's see everything that you've got going, right? And it was very cool the way he does it. So then he goes and Sasuke is near Sakura, and he's like, all right, you know, and this and that, we'll meet again, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden he goes and he extends, and as this is happening, the face that he was wearing from this person of the Grass Clan or what have you, the Grassville, the face is kind of starting to come off, and you can see he's very like serpent or reptilian-like, you know. Anyway, winds up going and stretching out his frickin' neck, right, like a giraffe, and comes over and just goes and just bites Sasuke's neck. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming snakes, fangs, poison. I don't know if he's poisoned. I don't know if it's the type of thing where, you know, he somehow is able to emit some kind of control over him, whether it was like some kind of magic, whether it was like a vampiric thing, whether it's like a curse. I don't know, right? But whatever he did, Sasuke is sitting there at the end of the chapter kind of like kneeling down, and he's in all this pain and everything like that. So I'm assuming that it's some kind of poison or infection that's going through his body. But nonetheless, though, I mean, that's how things wind up ending off in the chapter, is after that frickin' bite right on the neck over here from old vampire guy. And of course the fact that, like I said, we know that he knows his brother and everything else. I look forward to seeing you again, Sasuke. Now, what does he say? Oh, in the quest for power. Or what does he say? Oh, yeah, in the quest for power. Okay. And I thought it said in my for a second. And anyway, so, and then Sasuke, of course, is, you know, oh my god, everything hurts. He's freaking out, you know. And Sakura's, what'd you do to Sasuke, you know? Just a little something to remember me by. And then, boom, he goes and takes off. And, of course, Sasuke's in pain. Sakura's like, Sasuke! And that's how the chapter ends off over there. So, holy shit, man. What a great one. What a cool one. And honestly, knowing nothing about Naruto, you know, other than that, going into this, I knew obviously Naruto was the main character. I had heard the name Sasuke before, and I'm pretty sure that I've heard the name Orochimaru before. So I'm assuming that this is a big antagonist, at least of this arc, if not maybe future arcs or something like that. Not really sure. Not sure. I'm sure we'll see him again, but I don't know how big of a part he plays in the overall story and kind of mythos and everything like that of Naruto. But definitely very cool to see. And like I said, just how the whole thing was laid out. They go and they find these 3 dead bodies out there and everything, and their faces have been taken. So for whatever reason or other, this dude and apparently a couple other people that were with him infiltrated this Chunin exam for whatever reason or other. It also says that he's going to have to get past his 3, because he tells Sasuke, if you want to meet up with me again and fight again with me, I forgot about this, says, you know, right before right as he kind of yields, after that he says, you're going to have to get past the cell, the 3 ninjas from the Village of Sound, which I didn't really like to begin with, so they seem like a few dickheads. But nonetheless, he says you have to get past them and, you know, pass this exam as quickly as you can. But you're going to have to get past these ones or whatever, you know, that his allies or what have you, his subordinates. I don't know. So very cool stuff. Chapter question though, brothers and sisters. Ultimately, many of you have read ahead. You're caught up. You're this. You're that. Blah blah. But man. This was cool. What did you think about Orochimaru and his subterfuge, I guess you would call it, you know, being able to go and actually kill this cell of ninjas, steal their faces, and then kind of infiltrate the Chunin exam, and not even the examiner, Anko, didn't even know. I mean, he was right up behind her, breathing on her neck with that freaking long-ass tongue, you know, with his bloodlust and everything, and all she did was tell him to back the fuck up before he gets smacked the fuck up. But she didn't even tell that it was this Orochimaru. But after she saw the way that these ones were killed and everything like that, these prospective, you know, Chunin were killed, she knew immediately, because she said he, you know, that it was him. So she knew about him, but just couldn't even tell that it was him, just disguised right behind her. So very cool stuff. What are your thoughts on it? Let's get the comments going. Leave your answers in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, nation.
Come over and follow me on my other channel, as well as the Facebook and the Twitter and the damn Instagram too.